What's up, traders? Welcome back. So if you're watching the live stream today, you're probably wondering, Alex, what's going on? You look a little bit different, and it's just because I just shaved. So that's what it is. Just wanted to get that out of the way. What a super fun week of trading and some really good lessons that we learned along the way. In this video, I'm going to be summing up, I would say, the biggest lesson and then a few other pointers as well. Also, a little side note, I appreciate everyone that tunes into the live stream, if it's live or watching it on a playback. Not just is it really good fun to have you in the live stream, but it also shows me that you are serious about your trading education and growing your accounts. And those are the people that I want to be around. Okay, so reviewing all my trades from this week, I definitely realized that at some point I was profitable on almost all of my trades, which got me thinking, is my stop loss too aggressive, or am I not taking profits quick enough? And actually, I think the issue really comes down to my trading psychology, and I'm going to break that down a little bit for you guys. So if you have been watching any of my videos, you understand that this $25,000 challenge, which I'm going to talk about a lot more on Mondays. So definitely make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon too. So on Monday, you will get notified about the video about the $25,000 challenge. But basically, I'm limited to 3 trades per 5 business days. And that's why I have a Roth IRA account, which I trade in, and then I also have a margin account, which I trade in, which gives me kind of around 6 trades per 5 business days, although you really have to be timing them out very nicely. So I went ahead and opened another broker account at Webull, which I have a video about. You might like where I review it a little bit, but ultimately that Webull account was being funded, and then I was able to use that one as well. But then I also this week learned about cash accounts. So guys, in that Monday video that I was talking about earlier, I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to organize all of my trading accounts for this $25,000 challenge to, one, make trading simple as possible, because you don't want to be using all these different interfaces. Today we had that issue and we got executed on a trade and we didn't even know it till a few moments later, like almost a whole minute later. It was crazy, super sketchy, because I was using a new platform I never used before, and there was no notification, which I am super used to from Thinkorswim. So on Monday, you guys are going to learn if I'm going to keep using Webull. I'm going to think about it over the weekend, but I think I already have my answer in mind. So let's start talking about the trades. And to do that, let me go ahead and switch my screen. Coming over here to trade to win, I have a journey thread where I talk about this whole entire $25,000 journey to pass the PTD rule. And if we just come up here to Monday, you can see all the trades have screenshots, and there's links to all the morning watch list videos with the opening bell trading. And somewhere around here, this is Tuesday, and here we see Monday already. And what I'm going to do to make it super easy for you guys to find this Monday post is I'm going to go here and share this post, and I'm going to put this link at the top of the video description. So in this video description below, so you guys can go ahead and click on it. And if you want, you can dive into these charts on your own time to really see if you can get some information out of them that will help you. I'm going to review them very quickly though in this video. So our first trade, Nugs, was quite nice. I was really patient on this one, and we had almost a perfect entry, and then I sold right away for a 10% bounce. This trade did take a little bit longer because it had really low volume, but ultimately this was a really nice trade. I knew exactly what I wanted that day, and then I went ahead and was able to execute it. I waited for the price to do exactly what I wanted, and I wasn't overly conservative. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit later what I mean by that. Also, if you guys want to check out these trades on your own time, I usually post one intraday picture, which is about the minute chart. Then I sometimes post a 5-minute chart as well. And then I almost always post a daily chart, because the daily chart really shows you those really key support and resistance zones. And there's always a screenshot of the trade journal entry as well, so you can go ahead and read exactly what my thoughts were during that trade and look a little bit more into the statistics of that trade. You can actually access the whole entire trade journal if you want. It's in the beginning of the thread. There are a bunch of links that I thought you guys might find helpful, and the trade journal link is one of those. Okay, so moving down a little bit, there's a few other trades I want to kind of highlight. And FPay was all right. It was a bit of a scratch. I was looking for a bounce in this $2 area. We got it. The entry was pretty nice, but the bounce was really weak. And usually when there's a weak bounce, I would exit the trade right away. But since I only had that one trade, I could make that day. I ended up holding too long, and then I kind of got faked out when the volume was dying and there was a continuation of a downward trend, and I eventually just ended up getting out of this trade, which was a really good move because throughout the day this just kept on going down. But I probably would have closed out that trade when I noticed the bounce was weak at about 2% or something like that, took my scratch and moved on. But now I'm always kind of looking for a little bit bigger of a gain because I know I only have that, one or two trades that I can make that day. So that's really messing up a little bit of my trading psychology. And let me just show you guys a few other trades where this kind of affected my trading. We traded NIO, and this trade kind of did exactly what we wanted. We had this really big dip down here. I kind of missed these entries because, again, I was waiting for a bigger crash, although I know in the mornings that first 15 minutes is really where all the volatility is. So maybe this is something I probably would have tried to look into a little bit more, especially on this double bottom. But ultimately, we had another capitulation in this area. I went ahead and entered this trade, which was an okay entry. I mean, I'm not looking for perfect entries and exits, so I was pretty happy with this one. But again, when the bounce was weak right here and we hit this trend line of a lot of resistance, I didn't get out of my trade because I was waiting again for a bigger break to the upside, since I knew this was really that one trade I can take. And then I ended up getting faked out over here, cutting my losses right away, which is good. I didn't take any big losses this week, but I also limited my upside a little bit by taking these trades a little bit later in the day where the volume was drying up a little bit, and that wasn't really that great either. Remember guys, if you find this free content helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. Not just will you make it my day, but you're gonna make it easier for other traders to find this content in the future. And I traded CLVS yesterday. My trading psychology, again, with this one trade a day thing, really kind of got to me. So we had a really, really nice gap up. Then we broke to the upside here and I was like, okay, morning spike, this is good. This is looking good. I got a little bit of a entry that was a little too soon, which is completely fine. It happens sometimes. But then when this bounce was really, really weak, I ended up holding the position longer than I should have. I could have took my 2% profit or something like that, which is really just a scratch, got out of the trade. But I ended up holding this trade forever, for what felt like forever. And eventually when we were forming this pennant pattern and cracked it to the downside a little bit, I just got out of the trade right away. I'm like, I don't want any more to do with this trade, which was, in the end, I mean, it could have been a small profit, could have been a small loss. Nothing really happened. But, I would have been able to free up the rest of my day by not holding on to this thing. And that's something I definitely would have done if I didn't have to stress so much about those little trades. So moving on, BNGO. This is a classic example, again, of my overthinking this one trade thing. So I originally wanted to buy this morning panic, and I had my limit order here at 1.21. I remember it exactly. And then the price dipped down here almost perfectly. And again, now I'm being overly conservative. I'm like, I really need the price to dip hard before I enter the trade. And then lo and behold, the price rallies 20%. And I missed that, which, didn't really bother me. But then later in the day, I was like, okay, I need to trade something. And then I ended up waiting for a capitulation, which was nice. I had a pretty good entry. The bounce was weak though. Should have got out, but I didn't. And then the price came again against me and I got faked out. And then I took a small loss on this one again. So ultimately, it was a good thing that I got out of this trade. Let's see if we can find this was ultimately what happened in this trade later in the day. It got completely crushed. So again, cutting my losses was a really good idea, but I don't even want to get into those positions anyway in the first place. I want to be more aggressive in the opening bell, and that first 15 minutes is really where I want to do my trading. And this trade that I did today really kind of highlights that fact. So I really focused on getting my top 3 trades together. It doesn't have to be 3, it could just be one trade that you're looking at. Know exactly what you want to trade to that day. Have your strategy, have your ideal entry orders. ready to go, your limit orders ready to go, and then just be ready to tackle the market. And that's exactly what happened with CLVS. So this is where I was trading CLVS the day before. We had that consolidation, nothing really happened, and then we broke out to the upside. We were hitting this high of 4.5, the yesterday's daily high, and then we broke out of that, and then we were pulling back. So a nice classic breakout bounce. And I knew, okay, you know what, this is a good opportunity. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna get a little bit more aggressive. I had almost a perfect entry, and then the price rallied. I got out right away at a 10% profit. The price ended up going around like 20 or like 30% or something. So it was a really good rally. I definitely sold too soon, but I'm not looking for those get that perfect top. I'm just looking for my 7 to 10%, even if I think it will go much more, because I just want to consistently take those profits. So this trade, by the end of the week, I knew that I was not getting aggressive enough in the mornings, because I was kind of waiting for some overly perfect situation to happen, which never really happened. So that allowed me, I realized that, and that allowed me to take this trade. I think if I didn't realize that, I would have never took this trade, even though I knew the pattern and I knew everything in terms of what I would want to do. So that was really my biggest lesson with cutting losses and taking profits. It's not so much about, are you doing this too soon? Are you doing that too soon? Just understand, have your game plan ready to go. On that opening bell, be ready and understand there's more aggression in the first 15 minutes the market is open. And if you see that pattern, jump on it. Otherwise, you're going to have to be dealing with lower volume throughout the day, and things are just going to be bouncing a little bit weaker. Now, you always have to be adjusting your risk levels. I like to cut my losses. There's no fixed place I cut my losses, but usually at around 3%, I'm really looking to cut my losses. But ultimately, it's when my trading thesis is no longer valid. So in this case, CLVS, if I was trading that breakout bounce and that bounce didn't really happen, it was a weak bounce and then there was constant pullback and it was getting a little iffy, then I would get out of that trade. It doesn't have to be at 3% exactly. And then when we rallied, let me just show up the chart again. We were approaching this area of $5 where we had big resistance. You can see here on the daily chart below, we had big resistance there. So I ended up just cutting my trade, taking my profits. I was super happy, clean 10% in just a few minutes. So that's exactly what I was looking for. Now, if I had another trade, I probably would have went ahead and re-entered this CLVS on the dip, because there was definitely a lot of upside here. But that's really not a big deal, because this month and next month is not really about, making a bunch of money. It's really just fine-tuning my strategy. So I'm setting up my foundation so I can start making some bigger profits early 2020, which is a really weird thing to say. It sounds like a really long time away. Also consider checking out the live stream from today if you have not already. There is a pinned comment with exactly the time when this CLVS trade happened, so you can go directly and watch that trade live. So guys, I wish you a great Friday and a great weekend. Remember to always make some time to keep studying, keep learning about trading. Stay safe, and like always, make some awesome trades. Till next time, ciao, ciao.